Thank you so much for joining us. Today, we'll start our practice by coming into either a comfortable seated position, coming onto your chair with your back up against the back of the chair, your feet on the floor. And if you're coming into a floor position, let's move into a constructive rest, coming all the way down onto our back, letting our feet be firmly planted, our knees bent either towards the ceiling or maybe coming together to kiss. Resting your hands anywhere on your body or lap, or maybe resting them alongside you. Allow your shoulders to start to relax. And I invite you to close your eyes or maybe to simply soften your gaze as we come into this moment of grounding. We'll start to allow our breathing to become a little more intentional, lengthening our inhale and starting to extend our exhale, letting it become a little bit longer, a little bit smoother. And as we rest here, we'll take a moment to notice the boundary between our bodies and the surfaces that they're resting on. Noticing that gentle breath against the surfaces. And then taking that attention to detail as you wrap it around your body. Noticing clothes that are touching you, or even the air in the room around you. We'll even take that a little deeper now. As we start to turn inward, we start to notice our internal landscape, taking a moment to identify anything that might feel off, tired, achy, sore, or maybe noticing what feels good in this moment. And then we'll take that same attention to detail and we'll start to focus on our breathing itself. As we come into today's breathing exercise, the circular breath. With this breath, we start to smooth out the transitions between the inhale and the exhale. Sometimes we ask for a pause in our breath, but instead of a pause for this breath, we really want to get rid of any space between our inhale and our exhale, and then also the exhale and our inhale. Your breaths can be as long or short as feels comfortable for your lungs. You can breathe through your nose or your mouth, whatever's feeling appropriate, depending on how your lungs and sinuses are feeling in this moment. And as you settle into that breath, you continue it for just a few more cycles, generously giving yourself a smooth oxygen intake, maybe even releasing a little endorphins because of it. Today, we're going to talk about generosity because it's beautiful to give without expecting in return, to hug another for no reason at all, to call a friend just because. These are all acts of pure kindness and generosity. Generosity can be the antidote for selfishness and hate. And we can help others with our generosity when they are in need. But let us also help others just from pure kindness in our hearts. when the world seems so cruel and we lose faith in humanity. It is generosity that can bring us back. It is generosity that reminds us that humans can be kind and that even our own hearts are filled with love. So as you take just a few more of those circular breaths, take a moment to bring to mind the last time someone was kind, really unexpectedly kind to you for no reason. And as you breathe, rest in what feels come to the surface. Because how does that feel to you? Can you let that generosity take a moment to bandage your heart? Now begin to release that circular breath, allowing your breath to find a more natural rhythm. And then today, offer yourself a bit of gratitude that you've taken time out of your day to generously give yourself this space for self-care, for movement mindfully, for time with your breath. And just like that circular breath today, let's find moments to smooth the transitions, to move in a way that feels like it's a flowing movement as we move from one posture to the next. As you're ready, start to wiggle fingers and toes. We'll flutter the eyes open. And then staying right where you are in either option. If you're on the floor though, go ahead and separate your knees, coming into a more aligned, constructive rest. And then we'll start to just gently turn the neck left to right, feeling the movement through our neck, noticing how that is feeling in our bodies today. All right, bring the neck back through neutral. If you're seated in the chair, we're going to come into a reclined position. So we're going to keep our hips forward and our shoulders back. And if you want to add a pillow or something behind you for a little extra stability, you're welcome to do that. And on the ground, we're going to stay right where we're at in our constructive rest. Let's go ahead and start to hug that right knee up towards our torso, and then we'll take some ankle rolls with our right ankle. And then reverse them. Great job. Pause in the ankle, and then we're going to move through our hips. So we're going to imagine we're making a circle with our knee and go in either direction. We'll take it for 3 or 4 rounds, maybe 5. Noticing how that hip is feeling today. And then go ahead and reverse those hip and knee circles. Great job. Go ahead and put that right leg down, and then we'll go ahead and curl the left knee in towards our torso and start with the left ankle rolls. Maybe as you're taking these circles today, you're supporting them with your circular breath. And then let's reverse them. Circular breath, the constant reminder today to smooth the transitions. Go ahead and pause with the ankle and start to move into those hip circles. And then reverse them. Beautiful job. Your next exhale, go ahead and let that left foot come down to the ground. Now we're going to come into our own ball position. So if it feels comfortable to bring both knees in towards the torso, you're welcome to do that. And if you're in the chair and that just doesn't feel sturdy, you're welcome to keep the feet on the floor and then bring your body and torso down towards your legs. You can even curl your chin towards your torso or forehead towards the knees, or maybe rock and roll a little left to right, if that feels good in your position. Great job. With the next exhale, come back to your reclined constructive rest. We'll start to send the legs out long and we'll walk the hands up high, stretching into a full body stretch, a line down the middle, and then begin to walk the feet over towards the right side of your space. You're always welcome to cross that left ankle over the right foot if that feels safe or comfortable. And then start to let the shoulders and arms also come over towards the right. You're welcome to place that left hand in the right hand if that feels good. We're taking our reclined banana here, getting a nice stretch through the entire left side of the body. Now with our next exhale, we're going to engage our core, trying to keep it exactly where it is, and start to walk both the feet and the hands over to the right side or left side, the opposite side, and then cross right hand or right ankle over the left if you chose to take that option. Noticing how that feels through the right side body this time. Great job. Let's inhale to come back through center. If you're up on the ground, go ahead and come on up to a seated position. You're always welcome to bring something under your hips. Go ahead and keep your feet in that constructive rest position, the knees bent, the feet on the floor. And if we're coming in from the chair, we're going to remove any props we have supporting our back, because we're going to come up to that straight spine position now. Alrighty, let's go ahead and take a figure 4 here. So you're always welcome to extend that left leg as you bring your right ankle over on top of the left knee. You can keep that left knee extended and long. You can bring a bend to the left knee. If keeping the right ankle up that high is not working in your body, you're welcome to bring it down or bring a prop underneath it to bring it somewhere in the middle. The real goal here is really just opening that hip up. So wherever you're at in this moment, feel free to try to enjoy the way that feels on your right hip bone. Now, if you would like to go a little bit deeper on the floor, you can start to walk your foot back towards your hips. And if you're seated in the chair, then it would be bringing your torso just a little closer to your shin. Doing a beautiful job. Go ahead and inhale to release out of this just a little bit. And from here, we're gonna take a rock the baby leg. So you're welcome to grab your strap and wrap it around your ankle, or maybe you hold the foot in the knee with your hands or your elbows, depending on your body, and then start to lift it and rock it left to right. So we're getting into that hip just a little bit more, but a slightly different orientation in that hip movement. And if you like to roll onto the hip a little bit more or the back of the glute, you're welcome to do that as well. Great job. Go ahead and bring that foot back down to the ground. And then we'll take that side too. So we extend right leg, crossing left ankle over right knee, or our variation. And then start to bring a bend back into that right knee if that feels like a great option for you. Not necessary, but it can be a good option. And draw your heart as close to your shin as feels good. Let that circular breath maybe be your focus here as we open up that outer glute and hip. One more breath here. Let's extend that right leg. Start to rock the baby leg. Then maybe coming onto the hip. That's part of your practice. Great job. Alrighty, from here, let's transition into a butterfly pose, bringing the soles of the feet together, letting the knees open wide. You can always sit up on a block or even bring the blocks under your knees for a little more support if you'd like. And from here, we're going to take some cow face. So if you'd like to use a strap for cow face, maybe grab that and have that handy dandy real close by. And we'll start on the right side. Feed that right hand down to the back of the head, or maybe down the back of the neck or spine. And then start to take your left hand, grab the strap from the bottom, and start to walk the hands together. Now, if you don't have a strap, you can always simply hold your hands in those places. You can hold onto your shirt, or another great option is do the right hand overhead and grab onto the right hand, wrist, or elbow. So the goal here is really to open up through that right side body here. Work to keep the spine straight. One last breath here. Now, if you're using the strap, release it from your right hand, and we'll take the bottom hand up and the top hand down, finding our cow face on the other side. Beautiful job. Last breath here. Exhale to release the arms. And then go ahead and grab on either sides of the knees, bringing the knees together. And if we're taking floor poses, we're going to come into tabletop, hands under knees and knees under hips. We're taking chair poses. Go ahead and stay right here. You're going to take your cat-cow from a seated position today. And as we're ready, we'll start to pull our hearts forward into cow pose. Lift your gaze. And as you exhale, round your chin towards your torso, arch your bust spine back or up. Shoulders come by ears. Start to get into your circular breath once more, letting this transition between cat, cow be so smooth to match. Beautiful. Go ahead and come back to your straight spine. And from tabletop, we're going to make sure our toes are tucked and go ahead and bring ourselves into a seated hero's position. You're always welcome to sit on a block or maybe bring a blanket. And if having those toes tucked is just out of the question, you're welcome to release them as well. On the chair, we're gonna do this side one at a time. So we'll come to the right side, walk those right toes back, allow the left leg to come out just a little bit to the left. And you too, if it feels good in your body, tuck those toes. Get a stretch through the bottom of your feet. Alrighty, from here, go ahead and start to tuck your chin down by your chest, opening up through the back again. Notice how that feels. And then slowly roll your left ear towards your left shoulder. Take a breath or two there. Come through chin to torso and bring the right ear over to the right shoulder. And then find some exploration of your own. Half circles could be a great option, going back and forth. You can take a full circle if that feels nice. Just make sure if you do a full circle in one direction, you reverse it and do as many times on the other side. Or maybe you find a spot that feels a little creaky or tight and you just want to hold it there and breathe. It's your neck, it's your muscles, it's your practice. Listen to it. Listen to the body. Make the choices that feel best as you explore that head position. All righty, go ahead and bring the neck back through neutral. If you're in the chair, let's go ahead and switch to the left side, taking our half heroes to the other side, letting that right knee come a little bit out more to the left or to the right. Great job. Alrighty, from here, we're going to circle those hands around. We're going to support the back of the head, either by interlacing the fingers or even just bringing them fingertips to the back of or sides of the head. Getting this nice opening here. We'll start to lift the heart, lift the chin. Let the elbows open even wider. Feel the shoulder blades as you arch the spine. Start to kiss. And then with your next exhale, round the torso like a ball, elbows come in towards center, chin comes towards your chest. And then take this movement on your own. And just like before, if something feels really good to hold, you're always welcome to just stay right there. Great job. Last breath here. Inhale, releasing the bind of the hands, letting them float down by the sides. And then we'll all come on up to standing, transitioning smoothly in our own time and in our own way. We'll come up into our mountain position. We'll stand tall for just a moment, noticing the sensations through our body, maybe reconnecting with that circular breath. Our next inhale, arms reach high. Our exhale leans us into a right side bend of our choice. Inhale back through center. Exhale, lean to the left. Inhale back through center. Exhale, swan dive down, forward fold. Letting your hands rest on any prop, the knees are gently bent, the head is circling down towards the floor. Inhale, halfway lift. Pausing here, bending that right knee, leaving that right hand under the face on your prop. Go ahead and circle that left hand out to the side and up. Twisting through the torso. Exhale to release, using your circular breath as your guide. Inhale to lift, opposite hand. Exhale to release. Inhale to sink it a little bit deeper. Stay for the exhale. Inhale, bend the knees, sink the hips, take a slow roll, coming all the way up to standing. As you transition to that inhale, allow the hands to circle up and overhead. Exhale, cactus the arms. Take the gaze up. Take it into a little back bend as you squeeze the shoulders together. And then as we exhale, we'll end in a prayer pose. Beautiful sun salutation. Let's go ahead and step the right foot back. We're going to come into a warrior two. So we're going to open the hips to the side. We're going to bend through the front leg. We're going to start to set the hands in opposite directions. And those back toes point to the side. And the back edge of your foot matches the back edge of your space. But you're squeezing your thighs together. You're engaging your core. Your shoulder blades are squeezing together. You're doing a beautiful job on your warrior two. With our next inhale, pull it forward and then sink it back into your reverse warrior. Back hand can come to the back of your hip or slide it down the back of the leg as your front hand loops overhead. Staying right where you are, but start to straighten that front leg. Beautiful job. From here, we're going to pinwheel our arms, letting them come up overhead. And the one that was up overhead reaches back towards the hip, the glute, or maybe that back leg. And then take that hand that was just behind you and bring it over towards the opposite side of the room. So we're revolving our reversed warrior. Great job. Inhale to bring it back through center. Maybe step that back foot in just a little bit and turn the foot to the side. And with your next exhale, hinge into a forward fold, a pyramid pose over that front leg. Beautiful. We're going to play a little bit with revolving our pyramid pose. So we're going to take our opposite hand. We're going to either bring it in front of us on a prop, maybe on the leg itself, maybe on a prop on either side of the foot, and then start to twist that front hand, the same hand as your front leg, out to the side and up. Beautiful job. With our next exhale, go ahead and bring both hands to frame that front foot on your prop. Start to lift your back heel and bend through both legs. High lunge or low lunge. Keep your opposite hand on your prop, twist it up. Great job. Bring both hands to your prop and then move your front foot so it's directly under your core. Start to prepare for warrior three. Now you're always welcome to keep that back foot on the ground and just lift the heel, or maybe start to lift the toes a little bit or all the way up to hip height. Find a spot on the floor that's not moving. And for more of a challenge, maybe release your hands and bring them to a prayer at heart center. Great job. Step that foot in. Exhale, forward fold. Start to find that breath to movement, that circular breath. Inhale, halfway lift. Right hand moves to the side, twist to the right. Exhale through center, left hand to the prop, twist to the left. Exhale through center. Inhale to release deeper into your forward fold. Stay for your exhale. Slow roll all the way up to tall mountain. Inhale, lean to the right. Exhale through center. Inhale to the left. Exhale through center. Take it into a cactus. We'll end in our prayer. Let's take it second side. Stepping left foot back, warrior two. Sink it in, take a moment, set it up. You know where we're going. We're trying to match that breath to movement, that circular breath. So as soon as you transition, you're smoothing it out to the next one. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale to straighten that front leg. Inhale, twist and windmill the arms so the front hand comes towards the back or the back leg, and let that front hand come up and oak. Inhale through center. Now we're going to step it in for pyramid pose. Let the toes curl towards the side, and then hinge into your forward fold over that front leg. Now, as always with these forward folds, if you're noticing it strongly in the ligament of the knee, in the back of the knee, just add a gentle bend into it, letting the stretch move to the muscle. Beautiful job. We're going to stay here, but we're going to start to twist it out. So that opposite hand comes to a prop or to the leg, and then start to lift the same hand as the front leg up behind you. Exhale to release. Both hands frame the front foot, and then start to find your low lunge, lifting that back knee, bending through both legs, maybe letting the hips come down a little bit if that feels good for you. And then once you're ready, twist it out. Opposite hand stays. Same hand reaches up. Exhale to release. Warrior 3. Start to lift those back toes. A little or a lot. Maybe play with your balance by releasing one or both hands, but it's not necessary. You're doing great. Exhale, forward fold. Last time through our sun salutation. Inhale, halfway lift. Right hand stays, right leg bends, twist to the left. Switch it out, left hand stays, left comes down, left knee bends, right hand lifts. Exhale, fold. We'll pause here for just a moment, grabbing opposite elbows or taking the ragdoll of our choice. Feel free to move head, neck, jaw. Maybe wiggle your nose a little bit or wiggle your ears if that's available in your body. And eventually settle into your stillness. We'll release our hands back to their previous location. We'll bend the knees, we'll sink the hips, we'll take that slow roll, coming all the way up to standing. Last time, side bend to the right. Inhale through center, side bend to the left. Inhale through center, cactus the arms. Prayer pose. Mountain. Beautiful job. All right, for this next pose, we're going to find a puppy pose. So if you're taking the standing poses, your options are either your back of your chair or your wall. If you're using the back of the chair, I do suggest bringing a blanket over it and then letting your elbows come down to rest on the prop. If you're taking the wall, you do that movement on the wall. Elbows on the wall, your hands can be either parallel or fingers interlaced. And if you're coming down onto the mat, you'd actually come down into a tabletop first. In whatever way feels good for you. And then let your elbows come down onto the mat. Again, parallel, or start to bring the hands to interlace. Now, whichever pose you've chosen, go ahead and start to walk your hips back, keeping them lifted, and let your head start to drip in between your arms. Now, if it's available, you can rest it on the chair, or maybe the wall, or even the floor.
You're even welcome to bring props like maybe a block under your forehead if it doesn't reach. And if it doesn't reach and you don't have a prop, that's okay too. Try to find a little bit of relaxation, a little bit of that circular breath as you let yourself surrender in this puppy pose. Take 3 more circular breaths here.
Noticing that lovely stretch through the underarms and the sides of the body. Maybe even feeling it in the shoulders. Finishing up this last of our circular breaths, go ahead and move and transition in your time, in your own way, into downward dog. So maybe bringing those hips a little closer to your hands, bringing hands to where your elbows just were, and then come into that familiar V shape. Take a moment to pedal through the legs, shifting the weight from one side to the other, bending at the knees. Instead of a circular breath, allow a nice exhale to have an audible sound for the next 3 breaths. And you can still take it circular, but adding that audible exhale. Starting to settle into stillness. Last one. Now, wherever your feet are, just walk them in one footprint, bringing your downward dog into a shorter stance position. And then start to take your right hand off and bring it over towards your left hip, thigh, knee, shin, or ankle. Start to twist and look out under your arm. Exhale to release both hands to your prop. And then let's switch sides. Beautiful job. Exhale both hands to your prop. If you're taking floor poses, bend your knees, come down onto a tabletop, and then come over to seated on your hips. You're taking chair poses for these last few poses of our class today. You'll come seated in your chair. We'll stay at the edge of our chair and we'll start to find a seated staff position. So wherever you're at, start to send your legs long. You're always welcome to have a bend in them or press through the heels, pulling the toes back towards your shins. If you're seated in the chair, you can keep your legs down at the ground, or you can start to bring them onto a prop of any height, all the way up to hip height. So this might give you a different feeling of than having them lower. So finding what feels best for you. And if you like a strap, you're welcome to invite a strap here. I'm going to sit up really tall in our seated staff, making sure our spine, neck, and head are stacked. And then with our next exhale, we're going to start to lean our heart and point it towards our toes, keeping the spine as straight as we can here. You can rest your hands on your lap. You can bring them onto the chair for more support. Or like I mentioned earlier, maybe you wrap your strap around the bottoms of your feet. We'll take one last breath here. We'll be mindful. We have osteoporosis or osteopenia. We'll continue imagining our heart pulling towards our toes. If these are not issues in our body, maybe we start to round chin to chest, forehead to knees, really feeling that rounding of the spine. The reason we don't do this for osteoporosis or osteopenia is it allows a little extra pressure on our lower vertebrae, which we don't want to repeatedly add pressure to over time. So being mindful of that full rounded forward fold and seated staff. All right, one last breath here. Inhale, start to roll back up to your straight spine. All right, from your chair, go ahead and come back into your reclined position. So hips forward, shoulders back, maybe using a prop behind you. You're on the floor. We're going to get there with some ab engagement. So start to point your toes, point your fingertips, engage your core. And then as you slowly exhale, bring yourself down to a flat position, circling arms up and overhead. And then go ahead and come back into that constructive rest position. We're going to do some single leg movements to end our class. So you're always welcome to involve that strap if you would like to. We'll start by bringing our right knee in towards our torso. Give it a little hip squeeze, a little compression there. And then you want to use your strap. Maybe this is where you wrap your strap around. Begin to let the knee fall out to the same side. And as you do, draw your foot towards your hip, coming into a reclined frog pose. Great job. Go ahead and bring that knee back in through center, and then maybe send the foot up towards the ceiling. Point and flex a couple times. You're seated in the chair, it won't be out towards the ceiling, but you'll be lifting it out in front of you. Maybe see if you can walk your hands up the leg or the strap just a little bit more, going a little deeper. Again, if you're feeling it in the back of the knee, add a bend, move to the thigh muscle. Great job. Now go ahead and grab the strap in your same hand if you're using the strap. We'll go ahead and let that leg fall all the way out to the same side, opening up through that inner hip, that inner groin area. Noticing how that feels. All right, let's inhale, bring it back through center, and then shift your hips over to the other side of the mat as you take it all the way down into a twist. Now you're going to keep that leg extended long. You can bring a bend to it. And if you want to release and bring a stack to both knees, you are welcome to do that as well. Your shoulders are against the floor or against your chair. You can cross at ankles or knees if that feels like a good option to bind here. Take just a couple more breaths. Great job. Let's inhale to come back through our constructive rest, or seated or laying constructive rest. And we'll take that side too. Hugging our knee in towards our torso, we get that hip compression. And then start to let that knee fall out to the side as you draw your foot up towards your hip, a little or a lot. Frog pose. Bring it back through center, send the leg out long, stretch it, maybe point and flex the ankle a couple times. Maybe see if you can walk your hands up the strap a little bit. Start to take the strap in the same hand and begin to let that leg open to the side a little or a lot. Exhale to bring it back through center. Maybe allow the hips to roll over to the other side just a little bit, making any adjustments. And then find your twist here. Again, it can be the same twist. You can add extra things or props as you need. Allow your shoulders to be back. Cross at ankles, knees, or keep one leg extended. These are all great twisting options here. Job. Exhale to unwind. Come back through your constructive rest. We're going to end today's class coming into a supported fish pose. So if you're on your chair, go ahead and bring your hips as far back as you can. And maybe roll your spine over the back of the chair. Maybe allow your hands to come over back. If you have a bolster, you're always welcome either in the chair or on the ground. Use that bolster along the spine. And instead of opening your spine along the mid-back, you're instead along the center of the back. You're taking this on the floor. You can have that pillow or even a rolled up blanket long or width, depending on how you'd like to open the spine. And for a little bit more intensity, put one block at where your head will rest and one block wide just under the shoulder blades at any height of the block. The blocks give you a little bit firmer, a little bit more like a deep tissue massage versus the softness of a bolster or a rolled up blanket. Now for your legs, you can keep them in that constructive rest if that feels good for you. You could send them out long. You could even come back into that butterfly. And we'll take just a few last breaths in our fish pose of choice. Your hands can rest on your body, or just like in the chair, they can come out to the sides, opening up more through the torso if that feels good in your body. We'll stay here for as long as feels good today, but knowing at any point you can roll to a fetal position on one side, releasing the blocks or bolster or blanket. And then as you're ready, move into a final resting pose of your choice. Now, if you are choosing to come out of your fish pose and come into a resting pose, a different resting pose of your choice, know that you can add pillows, blankets, sweaters, or socks. You can move into a legs up the wall or move to a couch or a chair nearby. Just somewhere where you can keep your spine straight unless you're choosing the fish pose to extend during your final relaxation. And then as you settle in, purposefully transition inward by either allowing your eyes to close or your gaze to soften. And find a truly comfortable position to gently rest your body, allowing your body to relax your breath to find its natural rhythm. We'll feel the ground or the props beneath you, supporting you, offering stability. Take another deep breath in. See if you can slow your exhale down. As you do, begin to let go of any tension or worries. As you settle into this space, can you invite a sense of calm or of ease into your being? We'll start to bring our awareness to our heart center. We'll begin to imagine a soft, warm, glowing light of any color radiating there. With each inhale, feel this light increasing and expanding. With each exhale, allow that light to settle over you as it softens your muscles. This light is your capacity for generosity. It's boundless and radiant. Generosity is a beautiful expression of kindness and compassion. It can be shared in many forms: a smile, a kind word, a helping hand, or simply being present for someone in need. As we cultivate generosity, we open our hearts and we create a ripple effect of positivity in the world around us. Let's take this moment to reflect on the ways in which you have experienced generosity in your life, and even the ways that you have shared it with others. Now start to bring your focus to your breath. Begin to imagine each inhale as an invitation to draw in that beautiful light energy of generosity. Feel this energy filling your lungs and then spreading throughout your entire body. With each exhale, begin to imagine sending out waves of generosity into the world, visualizing these waves reaching out and touching others, gently creating connections and fostering a sense of community. We'll continue this visualization for just a few moments, breathing in the essence of generosity and exhaling it and extending it outward. Allow this cycle to flow naturally like that circular breath, creating a rhythm of giving and receiving without pause. Now begin to picture yourself offering that kindness, time, or understanding to others without expectation. And notice how that feels in your body, maybe light or open or even easeful, or finding a word that describes how it feels for you. And as you extend this feeling outward, as you imagine your light reaching your loved ones, acquaintances, or even strangers, wish them an affirmation. May all beings experience generosity and kindness. Now we begin to turn our attention inward and think about the acts of generosity that we have experienced or even simply witnessed recently. These acts, no matter how small, have a profound impact on both the giver and the receiver. Taking a moment to simply reflect on how these moments have touched your heart and have enriched your life. Considering how you can continue to embody generosity in your daily life. It could be through small acts of kindness, offering your time and presence, or simply being a support for others. As you let these reflections inspire you to cultivate a generous spirit. But generosity flows both ways. Can you imagine yourself receiving kindness with grace? It can be so hard to allow ourselves to be a receiver. But maybe breathe in and silently say, I am open to receiving love and care. Take a moment to notice and feel how being open allows generosity to circulate through you. Taking in one more slow, deep breath, filling yourself with this energy of generosity. Exhale slowly, feeling a sense of peace and connection. We can take this sense of generosity with us, knowing that even the smallest gesture can brighten someone's day. And remember that generosity is a gift that keeps giving. By embracing a generous heart, we create a more loving and compassionate world. Thank you so much for sharing this time with me today. For being generous and connecting with me. We'll take the deepest breath of our day so far. And then as you're ready, begin to wiggle fingers and toes. Take any stretching movement as you wiggle your eyes open. And then in your own time, in your own way, meet me in an upright position. Thank you so much. Until next time.